Just doing a little video update on some projects I have going on and some ideas I've got. So on both of my kettles, if you look on the top left, I added Whirlpool adapters, or Whirlpool fittings, I should say. But I can't see that one. And as the name implies, mixed in Whirlpool, you got to attach a pump to the ball valve. I've got a quick detach fitting on that. And you gotta have quick detach fittings on the hoses and the pump and all that. So there's some kind of hidden expenses there, but real handy to have. Anyways, hook all that up, and it should cause the liquid to whirlpool, which you would use for maybe like the last 20 minutes of the boil with the hops, as well as when you're chilling the wort. And I've got right in front of the one on the left here, I'm adding a thermometer to it. I'm going to set these kettles up to where they can be separated from each other. I don't have to pump from one to the other, make it a two-stage process. I could run them both at the same time. So I could do 20 gallons at a time rather than 10 at the same amount of time. I just purchased another squat rack on Amazon. The one I have, it was okay to start with, but it's kind of wobbly. And I don't have a lot of weight. I've got about 330 on there, and I nearly knocked it over when I put the weight back on it. So I'm thinking I could use that with a steel bar and a chain hoist for brewing a bag. Because that's one of the biggest problems I've had with brewing a bag and why I was using the two kettle system is trying to remove the liquid, and I can't exactly hold up a grain bag with 20 pounds of wet grains and let it drain out. So I pump from one to another and let it drain into the kettle and then pour the rest into it. But this way, I'll just be able to hoist the grain bags up, and I'll probably stagger, if I'm able to use both kettles at the same time, do like a 30-minute stagger so I'm not strapped for time on either, because I don't have two hoists and I don't have two pumps and I don't have two wort chillers, and I'm not going to. Next thing I'm going to try and do, so homebrew is kind of like kombucha. If you try and put it into, say, a keg and it's left out, it's still going to have active yeast in it. If you look like on those kombucha bottles, it talks about temperature, like it can't get over a certain temperature, and if it does, it's basically not good because it becomes active and it will continue to do what it does in the bottle. So if you put beer in a Pinlock keg and left it out, you're going to end up getting, I've done it with some before and I got mold in them. I had to discard the batches. So I got to thinking about trying to kill off the yeast. So after fermentation is done, put it back into the kettle and heat it up to, say, 140 or 150 and cool it, and then put it into my Pinlock kegs, and I could store it there until I'm ready to put it in my kegerator. The other advantage to that would be it would get rid of volatile chemicals like acetone. If you've ever tried distilling alcohol, the first part of it is called heads, and it's a horrible smell. It'd be kind of comparable to something like a nail polish remover, which I'm guessing would be acetone. So I think getting that shit out of the beer would be a good thing. And also just the fact that I can store beer for a longer period of time in pin lock kegs before going to my kegerator, instead of having to leave the beer in a fermenter. And it's worth noting, I do have the fermenter lids for pin lock kegs, and it didn't work out for me either. I still got mold in the beer. So I'm gonna try it this way. And I figure it's probably not very good consuming something with active yeast in it. Granted, it's not active in the kegerator, but after you drink it, it does become active in your system. So the next thing also we're gonna try and go after is I'm gonna make a magnetic stir plate using some computer fans and magnets. From what I've seen, people basically cut the fans off these and glue magnets to this, and then put it almost look like vitamin pills. It's like a magnet. It's a magnet, but it looks like a pill. Put it in more or less like a mason jar, and put the yeast with like a starter. Should be like a dry malt extract mixture and some other things. Put it in there and let it spin for maybe a day. I've heard it's good enough just to basically leave it on the counter and shake it now and then. That's what Homebrew for Life suggested, but I figure this way won't be that big of a deal. And I've got a wooden box I think I can use for it from a company that sells reloading supplies, Acme Bullets. They do the powder coated lead rounds, and their bullets come in nice wood boxes. I've got a few of those that I'm not really doing anything with, so I can put one of those to use. I just need something this is kind of small. I'm about to have something to lay it on top of, to have it high enough up to allow the magnets to work. But that shouldn't be a big deal, just a piece of wood or two should take care of that. I guess that's about all for now.